From the moment we encounter a new face, our brains are already racing, processing a complex web of nonverbal cues to determine if this stranger is friend or foe. This isn't a conscious decision, it's an ancient, deeply ingrained survival mechanism, a rapid assessment honed over millennia to navigate a world where a wrong judgment could mean the difference between life and death. Our amygdala, the brain's alarm system, fires off, instantly categorizing the individual based on subtle facial features, body language, and even their gait, forming an immediate, often irreversible first impression that dictates the initial level of trust or wariness we feel. This primal evaluation happens in milliseconds, long before any verbal exchange, shaping our subsequent interactions and coloring our perception of everything they say or do, creating a fundamental filter through which all future information about them is processed.
A significant factor in instant trust is the uncanny echo of familiarity. We are subconsciously drawn to faces that resemble people we already know and trust, or even those that share features with idealized archetypes of trustworthiness ingrained in our cultural consciousness. This isn't about conscious recognition, but rather a pattern-matching exercise where our brains seek out familiar, safe templates. Conversely, faces that deviate significantly from these templates, or those that trigger subtle reminders of past negative experiences, can instantly provoke suspicion and distrust, even if we can't consciously pinpoint why. This phenomenon highlights how our personal history and collective cultural narratives subtly bias our initial perceptions of strangers, making some feel like old friends and others like immediate threats, purely based on superficial visual cues and learned associations. A silent dialogue of resemblance and divergence playing out in the theater of our minds. Beyond mere physical resemblance, the concept of openness plays a crucial, albeit often unarticulated, role in how we assign instant trust. An open posture, direct eye contact without staring, a genuine smile that reaches the eyes, and a relaxed, unhurried demeanor all signal availability and non-threat. These cues communicate a willingness to engage and a lack of hidden intentions, making us more inclined to let our guard down. Conversely, crossed arms, averted gazes, fidgeting, or a forced, insincere smile can instantly trigger alarm bells, signaling defensiveness, discomfort, or even deception. Our innate ability to detect these subtle nonverbal signals is incredibly sophisticated, allowing us to gauge a stranger's psychological state and intentions, often with remarkable accuracy, before a single word is spoken, turning every initial encounter into a silent negotiation of vulnerability and perceived safety. While openness often fosters trust, there's a darker side to perceived charisma and confidence that can be deceptively manipulative. Individuals with high levels of certain personality traits, such as psychopathy or narcissism, often exude an artificial charm and self-assurance that can bypass our typical trust filters. They are adept at mimicking genuine warmth, using calculated flattery, intense eye contact, and an air of competence to rapidly build rapport, even with complete strangers. This dark charisma exploits our natural human inclination to trust those who appear confident and agreeable, making us vulnerable to manipulation. The trust we instantly feel for these individuals is often built on a carefully constructed facade, masking an underlying lack of empathy and a willingness to exploit others, revealing how our instinctual judgments, while usually helpful, can sometimes be cleverly hijacked by those who understand the mechanics of human perception better than we do, transforming perceived trustworthiness into a tool for self-serving agendas.
Ultimately, our instant judgments of strangers exist on a fluid continuum, not a binary switch of trust or distrust. It's a continuous process of calibration, influenced by an intricate interplay of evolutionary programming, personal experience, and immediate environmental cues. We are constantly, often unconsciously, adjusting our internal dial of wariness, allowing for nuanced responses rather than absolute ones. This dynamic process means that while a first impression can be incredibly powerful, it's rarely immutable. Subsequent interactions, even brief ones, can shift our perception, gradually eroding or strengthening that initial snap judgment. Our brain doesn't just make a single final decision, it builds a provisional hypothesis that is constantly being tested and refined. An ongoing, silent dialogue between our ancient instincts and our lived experiences, as we navigate the complex social landscape of humanity, always seeking the most accurate read on the stranger before us.